I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What do you mean, calm it down? It's a fight. Referee's telling two fighters who want to fight to calm it down. He should calm down.
I saw he's like a clown in his show, man. He's not your guy.
Tyson Fury's back, and all you motherfuckers are under attack.
Look, Eddie Hearn can say all what he likes. Who gives a shit what Eddie Hearn says? It's garbage.
Are you off your tits? Have you been smoking something?
Can you let me retire and be happy? Please, just please.
Bombs away from the Bronx Bomber! Wilder! Let's go, baby! Let's go! I'm through. They put somebody else up and give me an interview.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
You never give me a fair shake. HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing. You ain't shit. You not shit.
I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
I got dropped, man. Are you kidding? No, you won the fight.
OMG, I am so excited.
Any of you radio personalities think you want smoke? Call me Mr. Chimney. I want smoke.
Yes. What is up, MCR Radio or MCR fam? How's everyone doing? Obviously, we're going to be discussing a lot of topics today in our boxing news show. I'm Matt Tips 100. Smash like button, share the show, subscribe. Listen on podcast form. Drop that 5-star review on iTunes. Listen on Spotify, iHeartRadio, whatever. Share the show, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Spread the exposure of it. Like I said, Matt Tips 100. And of course, I'm joined as usual on our boxing shows and in the morning or afternoon, wherever you are, with the illustrious Mr. UK, Robbie Hearn, second cousin, twice removed. And before I get to him, obviously just a brief sort of touch on the topics. Dillian Whyte, Dominic Breazeale has been ordered by the WBC for an interim title. Yes. It's going to be an interesting show, ladies and gentlemen. Call in 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue for international. Add Skype, Mixed Combat Radio, and call in internationally. Plus, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, rumored purses, rumored location change, all that stuff. Inoue versus Rodriguez seems to be finalized for the World Boxing Super Series. Are we actually getting that tournament like we thought? A ton of other news to get to as usual. Like I said, call in, smash like button, all that stuff. Rob, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! I'm ready!
I'm ready. Let's go.
Oh, you just want to go right into it? Is that you saying? Like, that's your introduction?
No, I'm good. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm fine, I guess. Whatever. Cool. We don't need to talk. It's all right.
Chat, I hope you're doing good. Hit that thumbs up if you're doing good.
Great introduction there, Rob. I love it. Let's get to it. World Boxing Super Series announced, I think it was this morning at 10 a.m. my time. Breaking news. WBC orders interim title in heavyweight division. And obviously there's a picture of Dominic Breazeale and Dillian Whyte. They do the hashtag Breazeale Whyte, but let's be honest, it's going to be Whyte Breazeale as it should be, at least for the fans and for the SEO purposes. But anyways, Rob, are we happy here? Like, are we surprised here? And my sort of take on it very briefly is that I think this is what we were going to get. Maybe not for an interim title. I didn't see that coming, but I saw them making this fight. And I saw both guys wanting to take this fight. So, Rob, your thoughts on the WBC ordering it, and are we actually going to get it?
First of all, future Bobby, Matchroom FC drinking game. Every time that geezer says Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, or DAZN, take a drink. So you guys are going to be smashed.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one.
Well, according to Eddie Hearn and Matchroom, this will probably be on DAZN. No, I'm only just fucking around. Yeah, I like it. I think Dillian Whyte obviously held out on the AJ fight. I still think he maybe should have taken the AJ fight, but yeah, I think he's got what he wanted. Although he wanted a title shot, but he's looking like he wants to go the Deontay Wilder route. I don't know how quickly a deal can be made. I think they'll probably, I'm going to say the EH name now, Eddie Hearn, will probably want this maybe to go to purse bids. I don't know. And try and get this over here. I'm not sure, but will it be in time for this April 20th date? I don't know. But both Breazeale and Dillian Whyte seem happy about it, or Dillian Whyte especially. He basically tweeted, "Let's go, baby!" You know, the usual stuff. And Breazeale sort of put out there that, you know, seeing as Deontay Wilder's running and this, that, and the other, looks like me and Dillian Whyte are going to have to, you know, get it on. But yeah, I think it's good news. I mean, I've seen some tweets and some people saying this may bring the Joshua fight closer for some reason, like unifications, you know, trump mandatories, and I don't know. But yeah, Dillian Whyte is happy. I think this is the route that he was really looking for. He wanted. He's been saying about wanting the Wilder fight, and yeah, like I say, I don't know if this will be in time for April the 20th at the O2, as he's sort of penciled in for. But yeah, it's sort of big news. I think, providing once one of them is finally decided as the mandatory, that the WBC then call a mandatory. Do you know what I mean? It's saying they must fight the winner of Wilder Fury. So get ready for hashtag Fury White, I guess.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Except for that, obviously, last part. But Whyte Breazeale, I think it's a fantastic matchup. I think it's a pretty obvious one as well. I think most people will think that Whyte is the deserving favorite of it. But it's one that I think it just needs to happen to clear out the WBC fucked up situation with their mandatory status right now, and how it clearly does not accurately reflect, you know, the hierarchy of the division. But then again, most sanctioning bodies' rankings or ratings don't accurately reflect the top 10 or top 15 of the division, you know, across the map. That just is usually how it is in general. But digressing, I have really nothing else to speak on this fight because, again, I like the matchup. It's not really shocking to me. I think we knew we were heading this way. Both guys are on social media saying that they're going to take the fight. So I think we're going to get it. The only real question is, like you say, is it going to be for that April 20th date? I think they will sort of push it in, pencil it in for that date. I do know that the Joseph Parker Derek Chisora fight is sort of obviously either official or like very close to being done.
It's looking very likely, I think.
Yeah. I don't know if they put those two fights on, you know, a main event and co-main. I think they might have to sort of ask for pay-per-view. I think it will be a pay-per-view event in the UK, speaking. In the US, we may get into Zone, may get on Showtime. Depends who gets it. But definitely whatever may happen, I want to see this fight and can't wait to see it. So kudos to them for making it.
Yeah, I mean, I think when Whyte turned down the Joshua fight, and then they had that backstage, Eddie Hearn, Dillian Whyte were talking, and you know, we heard the names come out, the possible opponents for Dillian Whyte, and that they'd locked, like, he'll be fighting here April 20th. It was Breazeale, Povetkin, and Ortiz. And there was a lot of suggestion, including myself, that I just felt, why would Breazeale take that fight? He's in the position, you know, he doesn't need this fight as such. Maybe the money would have been attractive, but he basically had the title shot. But now, and then Eddie was like, we're talking to the WBC, we're trying to do this, that, there's conversation happening, and now it's being called. So if that's down to some kind of pressure, I don't know, on Hearn's part or Matchroom's part or whoever, or even, I doubt the fans make much of a difference to these governing bodies. So I don't know, but obviously something's been ironed out and they've called it, because I don't know, there's been a lot of talk of the WBC not calling mandatories for Wilder, this, that, and the other. But interestingly, shout out to Leonard Sterling.
Well, I mean, they did 2 fights ago. Like
that's the only one in his 4-year reign, right?
Yeah.
What do you mean? 2 months ago?
I said 2 fights ago. I didn't say 2 months. I said 2 fights ago.
Oh, right, yeah, but in his 4-year title reign, in his 4-year title reign or whatever it is, he's had 1 mandatory. Now, I believe in the WBC, they mandate a top 10 every year. They that's part of the WBC rules, from what I'm seeing. Anyway,
but you know, and I know that there's that low top of the rules and regulations say, hey, the board of directors or board of governors, depending on the verbiage they use or terminology they use, says we can overwrite any of these rulings with any vote. So mandatories don't have to happen, and we see it all across every sanctioning body.
Oh yeah.
Again, I know fans want to isolate it to the WBC or WBA or WBO or IBF. It's all of them. Let's always keep that in mind. It's a sanctioning body. I know you know this, but the fans out there, the listeners, there's people that would get the pitchforks out. Oh, WBC. Your favorite sanctioning body does the same thing. They should all get the smoke. Always keep that in mind.
Your favorite governing body, brilliant. Sanctioning body. Who's your favorite? Very quickly, shout out to.
But people do. Hey, sorry. Before Leonard Sterling comes in with whatever comment, people do have favorite sanctioning bodies. Like we know that. Come on. Like there's people that have WBC shirts. Like I've been to a fight and people have like WBC like paraphernalia on them. Not the fighter paraphernalia. They have WBC paraphernalia. Yeah. Come on. They all get the smoke. IBO, whoever it is.
I've got my IBO shirt out back.
I know you do.
AJ repping. And
Leonard Sterling, Patreon member extraordinaire.
Yeah, we were talking Twitter DMs and stuff, and
in the DMs.
Yeah, it's not that snidey that you think it is. It's not some kind of.
Well, just go on. Just go on, Rob. Come on.
No, he was just pointing out. I didn't realize. What was it? Whyte has fought 9 times since the AJ loss. And rebuilt his name. Breazeale has fought only 3 times since losing to AJ, and those losses are only 6 months apart. It's quite sort of 9 times over 3 times. Breazeale. So I get pretty inactive. So, but now it's ordered. We'll find out, and I'm guessing going into it, Whyte will be maybe the heavy favorite. Would you say?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. I don't. If anyone's really picking Breazeale to win this fight, I have to question your understanding of boxing. To be honest, it doesn't mean that Breazeale can't win, but it's a very low possibility. You know what I mean? I just don't see the game plan for Breazeale to win. He would have to somehow get it into a brawl and somehow win that brawl, and I don't think he would. I don't think he's gonna outbox. There's nothing that really, makes me think, Breazeale has an edge. There's no edge for Breazeale. Digressing again, I think it's a fantastic fight, and again, finally glad they're cleaning up the situation.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was going to say maybe Breazeale's got the height and reach, but he just doesn't know how to use it. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, he did well against Ogunu or Easy Ogunu, who trained with Joseph Parker and Kevin Berry. Remember that guy? That was a really fun fight, right? He used his height and reach pretty well in that one, but that's not Dillian Whyte. Breazeale has excelled against very low opposition, has done mediocre against mid-tier competition, and has always looked poor against the very top. I think Whyte is closer to the top than mid-tier, so I think we're going to see a bad version of Breazeale in this matchup, just because Whyte's going to be that good.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, I think it's a safe, easy bet that you could say Whyte is potentially one of the most improved heavyweights in the entire division. So I think he's sort of caught, overtaken, and left Breazeale in his wake, really, as far as improvement and in pretty much all departments, I'd say. And that the Whyte's left hand has becoming some kind of almost trademark. His go-to game changer. So again. Just happy the WBC have ordered this fight, and we'll get a clear position for one of these guys. But will it instantly be they face the winner of Wilder Fury? Again, we'll have to wait and see.
Come on.
We've gained one step closer.
Yeah, and again, it's a good fight. If Whyte's not getting AJ, Miller, Wilder, Fury, there's only really 2 other names that matter. Maybe obviously Povetkin, but he just lost. I don't want to see Povetkin. And that would be Luis Ortiz and Dominic Breazeale. Both guys on winning streaks. Both guys are relatively near the top. One's a mandatory, one isn't. I think Luis Ortiz is close to mandatory status. But regardless, those are really the only 2 names that would make sense. And the Whyte fight probably, in my opinion, I like more purely due to the fact that it is sort of a PBC fighter going against a matchroom fighter. We have that crossing of the team, so to speak. I like that. Start doing it. Start doing business with each other. Get over it. Okay. and let's start making these heavyweight fights that matter. But digressing from that, unless you have anything else you want to say.
No, I just want to say if it is next with Whyte and Breazeale, that obviously frees up Povetkin, who was thrown in the mix with the Whites. So are we going to get Usyk Povetkin? Is that going to be Usyk? But again, we're hearing Usyk's in the States, so I don't know. But that's just my also my thought on it, that it could be Usyk Povetkin.
Yeah, if they put Usyk Povetkin in the States and that's not in Eastern Europe, God, what a stupid idea. Digressing. Let's get to some more heavyweight news since we are on the heavyweight topic. And Rob, can you do me a favor? Can you resend me the article talking about them moving to MSG or vice versa? Because them talking about being in the same venue as AJ Miller. Because I don't have that one up. I only have the rumored purse up. So I'm gonna go to that as you look up that.
I think it's in that one as well.
I know it's in there. I could not find it, so can you just resend it to the top? If that, just do me that favor, there, co-host. Thank you, Buzz. But per the Daily Mail, which again tabloid paper, and again the first one that I want to say, no, actually, it's the Daily Star. The Daily Star reported the AJ Miller numbers. This outlet reported the first Wilder Fury numbers from the first fight, which was around, correct me if I'm wrong, Rob, the same number of 20 million pounds each. Yeah. So take that for what it is. Again, tabloid reporting is always tabloid reporting. I just feel like we need to state that obvious disclaimer for everyone listening. So when you go out there in your Twitter debates, don't think that these numbers are factual and that these numbers are actually going to happen. Same with AJ Miller, same with Wilder Fury. Both of these numbers are probably going to drop to more realistic purses, or guaranteed purses, I should say, because obviously we know there is back-end money. But digressing, Rob, if you're still looking, are you still looking right now?
Well, I can just read from the same article that you had up further down. It says Fury's promoter Frank Warren is understood to be in New York finalizing contracts with Wilder's co-promoters Shelley Finkel and Al Heyman, with the fabled Madison Square Garden earmarked for May 18th, and an announcement is imminent.
You know what's really funny is that wait, and then okay, I misread it when I first read this article. Okay, thank you. Because in the next paragraph, this must be a mistake, right? This is why this is tabloid reporting 101. The next paragraph is literally them saying the same city, in this case using the Barclays Center, is penciled in for the AJ defense for his collection of his belts, blah, 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 blah. They must have that flipped, right? Like, why would the PBC fight, in theory, PBC pay-per-view, Wilder Fury 2, not be at the Barclays Center, which has a deal, a literal on-paper contract with PBC, when all the reporting has been contrary to this? Again, this is tabloid reporting. I know we're putting this information out there. I just want to add that I don't really know if this information is valid yet, especially this factor of them switching the venues and AJ Miller being at Barclays and Wilder Fury 2 being at MSG. That just doesn't make any logistical sense to me, and again, is contrary to all reporting. On top of that, this 20 million figure is very high, and the same number we heard in the last fight, and that did not come to fruition. Rob, your thoughts on all of this? The number, the venue, quote unquote, switch. Do you buy any of it? What's your thoughts about it?
Just very quick. Also, World Boxing News. I don't know what their source of this is, but they said about Joshua Miller and
talking the mic. Yeah, I know you're looking at your phone there.
Both contests are set to take place in New York, with reports Madison Square Garden could host the clashes 2 weeks apart. Similarly, the Barclays Center has been labeled as a front runner for Wilder Fury return.
Potential Lunatic is saying Coppinger also stated that MSG is in play for Wilder Fury. Is that recent? If maybe look on Coppinger's recent timeline?
Okay, I'll have a look. But yeah, the money, I don't know. Like you said, the Daily Mail reported they were getting 20 million each for the first fight. So I don't know. And in the report, it also says this is going to generate around $50 million, this fight. I really don't know. But
I mean, if you include like international distribution, if you include all streams revenue, yeah. Just pay per view, probably not. But I mean,
but then obviously there's a break even point.
Sorry.
No, it's just saying there's like a break even point. So I don't know what they're like projecting and what a break even point is this time around for the rematch. I don't know, but
especially assuming both guys are going to get a raise in their purses, I would assume.
You would imagine so. So Coppinger 13 minutes ago. See, these people are on it in the chat. You know what I mean?
Well, Lunatic, shout out to Lunatic, man. A new patron, by the way. Shout out to him. Patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. Joining the movement.
Hold on.
I sounded so corny saying movement. Shots at me. Don't ever catch me saying that shit again. Okay, join up if you want, please. But otherwise, we're cool.
Yeah. That sounded like some kind of bowel issue, the movement. But Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury are close to finalizing a deal for a heavyweight championship rematch that will likely take place May 18th, according to industry sources. An announcement is expected next week. Barclays Center is the front runner, but I see this says MGM Grand remains in play. And someone sent a link to me, not a link, but you heard it here first. It's going to be MGM. See, there's too many initial places. They need to do like
initial places.
They need to, change things to like what's the StubHub nowadays?
Oh my god, what the fuck is that shit? That is bad. Like the well-being and life center awareness. Arena park or something like it was it's at least 7 different words put together.
Yeah, that sounded like somewhere Oliver McCall's fighting in March, but that had like the tennis center or something.
Oh my god! Shout out to Oliver McCall, the legend. Back to this point. Look, I think it's weird we're getting this like burst of all this very new information, not new information, but information that is now different than what the usual reporting has been. I feel like it's been months of AJ Miller, MSG, Wilder Fury, Barclays, right? Like we've sort of been peppered with that for a while now, and now all of a sudden we hear different things for both fights. I don't know what that's an indication of, but it is interesting. But regardless, I think we're still going to get Wilder Fury 2 in the Barclays Center for very obvious financial reasons, and AJ Miller 2 in MSG. Both parties respective parties have recently fought at those respective venues. So why would they now change? It's just odd to me. Digressing, Rob, any last thoughts on Wilder Fury rumors and now location switching? Any sort of last angles you want to take and discuss?
No, I mean, look, I'm meeting Fury on Friday.
Wow, you got like 3 different names there. Wilder, Froch.
Yeah, I'm meeting them all.
You're meeting them all.
It's a real big event. It's a big event. No, I'll ask Fury. That can be my question. If it hasn't been announced by Friday, I say, look,
looks like it.
I know you're going to fight him, and you've got your 50-50 according to the Daily Mail. But where do I need to get my plane ticket? Am I going to Vegas? Am I going to New York? Now, do I need to head sort of Brooklyn way if I'm going to New York? Or do I need to
Manhattan? Go? Which way am I going here?
I want to get a hotel really close to the venue. Help me out. Hook your countryman up. But very quick.
You don't even have to say it. Just mouth the letters. Is it? And for those on podcasts, I just mouth MGM and MSG.
They look very similar.
They do look very similar, and I realized that when I was saying, like, damn, you can't do that because he's going to mouth it, and you're not going to know what he's saying at all.
But
you're like, which one, Fury? Which one? He's gonna keep mouthing it. Like, what is it?
I won't tell anyone. But I will be trying to go live on MCR podcast at IG at some point. Very quick. The PBC deal with Barclays, and it's an exclusive deal. Does that mean no other promoter could come in and book?
No.
So what does it mean that it's exclusive to PBC?
It's not exclusive. I don't think it's an exclusive deal. I don't think I stated that. I'm pretty sure I never said it's an exclusive deal. I'm pretty sure that's not what it is. It is just a deal with the Barclays Center, similar to like Mayweather's deal with MGM. Like Mayweather had a deal with MGM for a while. They were giving him cars and stuff. Like they were like giving him money basically to fight there, right? it seems like in a more official, professional way of, hey, here's a monetary per event fee, and we have a structured deal on how that works, and we have a certain number of events we're guaranteed and owed from you guys, and that's probably what it is. I don't think we ever received any certain details from it, but that's what I'm assuming it is. Hey, we're owed a certain amount of events. Get that figured out, whatever those events are.
No, I just looked it up quick. Dan Rayfield report, whenever it was, the arena has struck a deal with Premier Boxing Champions to become its official East Coast home arena, giving Barclays Center exclusivity with the outfit in the New York region.
Quickly, just to answer your point with that terminology or that phrasing, PBC, technically under that verbiage, going to New York is exclusive to the Barclays Center. Barclays Center is not exclusive to PBC. From the structure of Dan saying that, that's what that means. Whether or not that is 100% accurate, I don't know. If it is, then again, I think we're getting Wilder Fury in Barclays Center, not MSG.
Yeah, to me that sounded like, not that they can't go to MSG, but they're I don't know.
No.
To New York.
AJ Miller can go to Barclays Center. They can. Wilder Fury, from that language, can't go to MSG.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They Wilder Fury should be landing in the Barclays, and if they're going to New York, then it's at the Barclays.
That's why we always hear that. That's why we never hear MSG for PBC fights, for obvious reasons. But anyways, Rob, anything else with this topic?
No, again, we just keep doing shows, waiting on announcements. The DAZN, apparently Joe Markowski of DAZN said big news coming en route today for DAZN USA. Wow. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting, thinking, it's going to be Joshua Miller, and then nothing. And then I'm thinking, well, if they're going to announce it, at least, with AJ being one of them, you think it would be at a reasonable UK time. But no, is it maybe Triple Genies? Vladimir Klitschko's at an airport, just saying. I don't know.
just not like that means anything.
No, I don't mean. I sent it to you, and I was like, I don't even know why I sent that, but it's at an airport. I don't know. It could be, heading to somewhere. Obviously.
Do we want to talk about why it's taking these fights so long? It's just because they're big fights now. Like Wilder, AJ are guys that command these long negotiation processes, just like Mayweather and Pacquiao and others. Like it just is the way it is with these big time guys, that we get a very drawn out, long negotiation process, and this is just par for the course. Or is there some concern for these two fights and them not being made as of today? Because again, I think the Wilder Fury second deadline was yesterday. Correct me on that. And AJ Miller was supposed to be announced on Monday. It's Wednesday.
Well, there's apparently some extra 48 hours was added. I believe I was reading something to Wilder Fury. They got an extra 48 hour grace because it was supposed to be today. I think if the week extension was fully in play, but look, they're going to keep until the deal's made. I don't think this is ever going to go to a purse bid. So, but by the way, I know you've got some other news coming, but May 18th, if it is Wilder Fury 2, that's looking like a good day for boxing fans.
Well, that is a perfect segue, Rob. Oh my, look at that. See, man, people say you're not getting better at this podcasting shit. You're getting better at this, Rob. I'm impressed, man.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know the order. That's why I said I know we've got some other news coming.
Oh, that was literally next. Oh my God, Rob, I'm so impressed by you, man. Like the synergy here, man. Wow. Anthony Walker, Fugatti, watch out, guys. Buzz Lightyear here, taking off.
You may have the beards. Who gives a fuck?
Rob just has no hair.
We're not even same page. We're same tab. You're on this. We're on the same tab on my
on your cursor, on your browser. I mean. Yeah. Anyway, speaking of May 18th, as Rob said, it looks like it's going to be a great day of fights. World Boxing Super Series saying confirmed. Inoue versus Rodriguez heads to the SSE Hydro Glasgow May 18th. And obviously the World Boxing Super Series semi-final spectacular with fire emojis. Is it here, ladies and gentlemen? Is it back? Is it back? I don't know. Rob, first off, Josh Taylor is still out there in interviews saying that the Branchick fight is happening, that he's on this card. Last time we heard from anyone in Branchick's team, they said, no, it's not fucking happening. Stop saying it's happening. You haven't paid us. I really, like, we talked about this, I think, on yesterday's show, though that might have been championship rounds. So I don't know if that was free. Me and Gary were talking about this, I think.
Did you get along nicely?
Did you get along? Shut up. We're fine. He's on the line. Okay, relax. Both of you. We both sort of agree, like, hey, the 140-pound tournament, that can fall away and fall apart, and I think we can still get great fights in that division, and those fights can happen relatively soon. And plus, the tournament's not acting like it's building towards something that needs to happen in a way. Like, Prograis Taylor doesn't need to happen. I'd much rather have a Hooker Taylor and a Jose Ramirez Regis Prograis fight. I'll be completely honest. But I digress from that. The cruiserweight division, completely unnecessary. So if that can fall apart, and we're okay. So right now, just from that, we're watching Super Series. If it fell apart right now due to all the controversy surrounding it, we're okay. But 118, I want that to continue. That has the 8 best guys in the division. It has almost all the champions, minus Obali with the WBC belt. Shout out to the French champion and Coach Mitty. What up? I want Inoue Rodriguez. I want Tete Donaire. I want these fights to happen because I feel like they need to happen. If the tournament falls apart, if World Boxing Super Series falls under, I feel like we don't get these fights immediately. I feel like it's harder to make, potentially with these fights, so to speak. But so with all that said, I'm glad it is seemingly confirmed. Again, I would really like to hear from Inoue's team and Rodriguez's team about this fight being confirmed, and if they both agree it's confirmed. Because, again, we are still hearing Josh Taylor, Baranchik is happening, and one party is saying it's not happening. So, still some concern here about this event overall, but this fight, love it. Hope it happens. Can't wait to see it. And the fucking monster is coming back, guys. The champ. Pound for pound GOAT. Y'all don't want that smoke. So, Rob, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I love it. Inoue coming to the UK. That's currently 50% of Ring Magazine's top 10 pound for pound is fought in the UK now. We just need Loma, Canelo, Mikey Garcia, Rung Vizai.
You know what? I think you guys can count Canelo because he beat up Rocket Fielding in New York. That's close enough.
1,000 miles is close enough. All right. Okay.
No, Canelo's never going to the UK. Of all the guys, he is definitely not going to the UK. Loma might.
No, Dougie Fisher, he put Loma sure to be fighting in the UK very soon. I don't know how we know.
Well, yeah, I said that. Loma, Corolla, like that could be in the UK, but the other name you mentioned, why is it escaping my head? Canelo.
Yeah.
No, Canelo. Canelo, that's not happening in the UK. Now, like a Mike Garcia, Kelbork in the UK, that could happen. That could be a fight.
Once Anthony Fowler steps up to 160, maybe Canelo will be.
That's hilarious. Now back to Inoue and Rodriguez and a fight that actually matters and it's happening. I shouldn't say it's happening. We don't know it's happening. Digressing, Rob, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I love it. It's providing the actual evening goes ahead. I love it. I think that's great. A real great night of boxing. Like I say, May 18th, which is one of the rumored dates for Wilder Fury 2. So what a night of boxing. UK fans, obviously staying up late for the second part of that in the States. But yeah, Josh Taylor going for the title and Inoue on our shores as well. I love it. So I've just seen so many people as soon as that news dropped, Inoue is going to be in Scotland. I saw everyone tagging their friends. We're getting fucking tickets. We're getting tickets. So everyone wants the chance to see Inoue live, right? So
if you're a hardcore boxing fan, like this is probably your one and only chance to get him. You know what I mean? Like, how many times is he really going to be in the UK? Especially since he's such a star in Japan. I think if he's on the path he keeps going, he could be brought over in the US and I think be made into something. You put him on ESPN Plus a lot or ESPN. Like, you could build him into some sort of commodity in the US even. I think overall, combat sports fans have a deep affinity for like Eastern Asian martial arts, that sort of culture. So a guy like Inoue, who I think really embodies that and also is devastating in the ring, insane knockout power. Like that guy could be transcendental in a way that few Asian boxers can be in a market like the UK and the US, to be honest. But digressing, Rob, I want to get to sort of your caveat at the very beginning of, well, if this night does happen, how sure of you? Like, give a percentage here on how much you think we're going to get Inoue Rodriguez and Taylor Baranchik.
100% it'll happen.
Now, again, and those two fights. I'm not saying Inoue Rodriguez and like a Josh Taylor versus somebody else. I'm saying those two matchups specifically on this card. You think it's 100% happening?
Yeah, why not? I'm a fucking optimist.
Why not? Good for you, man. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, let's think of the good things, you know. When it all goes tits up and it's fucked, then I'll come on and be all doom and gloom. But until then, until we get a definitive answer, I'm going with yes, it happens, and it's a great night of boxing. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, they really need to sort this out. They need to pay the guy, but I don't know what's going to happen, really, honestly. But
I'll be honest, I think we get Inoue Rodriguez. I think we get that fight, but I think we get Josh Taylor versus somebody else. I'll be honest. I don't think we get Taylor versus Baranchik.
Why? Why are you saying shit like this?
Hey, you guys still get Josh Taylor. Relax.
Yeah, but for a world title?
No.
Yeah, exactly. So
no.
A shout out to Josh Taylor. He said Adrian Broner's an asshole and he'd love to give him a wee spanking.
I mean, who wouldn't in that rate range right now? I mean, come on. Who doesn't want to make millions and beat up Adrian Broner? Let's be honest. But digressing from that, the last couple topics we're going to get to of the day, and then go to callers 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. If you are international, add Mixed Combat Radio on Skype. Numbers have come out for obviously this weekend, and also we're going to talk briefly about the Jose Ramirez card if you want. I don't know if you've seen that fight yet, and the Ray Beltran fight. You haven't seen it? Oh, if you can, I'll help you. We're going to find that Beltran Okada link because that fight was like that was a chef's kiss for anyone that is listening to podcasts. That was magnifico. Okay, I'm telling you.
Oh my God,
it was for one of those fights like you don't expect a lot from, but just delivers in every way. But digress.
Is that some of your Portuguese Spanish side coming out, or was that
Italian? That was I don't know what that was.
It was magnifico.
It was probably slightly offensive, but fuck it. Gervonta Davis, Hugo Ruiz, headliner, peaks at 486,000 views. The entire telecast, not just the fight itself, because the reporting here is only specifying the main event. The entire telecast averaged 311,000 viewers. That is not the greatest number. It's not the worst number I've seen. Like I think like Christian Shields has done on par with this. Obviously, Anthony Joshua, non-prime time cards have done around this and lower. And also, I mean, look at the opponent, look at the card itself. Like, I think everyone that watched this card purely watched it for Gervonta Davis. I'm curious to see what happens when we get Davis versus a live body that's promoted, that has a decent card around it, what that number is. I think this number is not really reflective of Davis's overall drawing power. And just briefly, before I even touch on the fights themselves, the Jose Ramirez card last night, I should say Sunday night, against Cepeda on ESPN averaged 655,000 viewers. This is a really big dip from his last one. I think his last one was around 900,000 viewers. On top of that, this card obviously competed with the Grammys. It's not a successful night, especially when you look at Saturday's UFC prelims. The prelims did 2.4 million viewers. And Top Rank's third best draw, right, Rob? Like maybe the third biggest draw for Top Rank, I would argue, Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, he's definitely a ticket seller, right?
Right, definitely. You probably make another argument maybe for somebody else. I'm not thinking about it. Maybe the name's escaping me. But Jose Ramirez, arguably the third biggest draw on Top Rank behind Lomachenko, Crawford, doing this number, not so great. Even though the ticket sales were great and obviously the crowd was great and the fights were fun. Like, Rob, definitely find some links when you can because both these fights were fun fights. Ramirez, Zepeda, that was a close fight. But none of the boxing this weekend really did well in terms of numbers. UFC prelims did amazing numbers. I doubt the pay-per-view did, but it looks like overall, combat sports, kind of an off weekend for everyone. People took the weekend off for combat sports, it seemed. Rob, your thoughts on the numbers, your thoughts on any of these fights, anything like that?
No, I thought there was a lot of hype around. Seemed to be a lot of action on Twitter and stuff about Gervonta Davis. So I was expecting bigger numbers, but maybe the late replacement.
And remember, like Danny Garcia versus Brandon Rios did like 500,000, right? Like that didn't do well. Badu Jack, James Zagale, that did 480,000 viewers. That's not. Showtime is a smaller network than ESPN. Like we're talking about a network that has what 1/4, 1/5 the size of ESPN. 1/7 the size of Fox. We are talking orders of magnitudes here between these networks. So numbers should be understand in the context of these numbers. But again, it's not great. It's not good. It's not really awful though for Gervonta fight. For Ramirez, I would say that's getting closer to bad. I would say neither are a quote success for viewership. But neither made either event bankrupt, so to speak,
Yeah. On Ramirez, he's such a draw. Is it in Fresno? Mm-hmm. It just was it like I think it was like 14,000 tickets or something sold. Yeah, he seems to be a massive, draw in his is that his home?
Yep.
Yeah. So but the numbers, it just didn't seem to nothing really proper. Caught fire as such as like, wow, nothing eye-opening. If anything, like eye-opening for the wrong reason, almost like, well, I wasn't expecting that, kind of quite low. But yeah, like I say, the Gervonta Davis one, maybe people weren't that, too bothered. It just seemed to be real trending and stuff like that, and all the stars that were out and who was there, Drake and all these kind of big stars. It seemed to be like a big thing, and then like not many people like tuned in to watch it, right? So
the way I look at it is like all those people watched just for Tank. Like no one watched for Mario Barrios. No one watched because of the matchup. The people that watched wanted to watch Tank Davis fight. Yeah. And that I think is something that they can sort of look at and have some sort of a lining in. Is that if you put Tank Davis versus Miguel Burchelt or Tevin Farmer on Showtime as a main event and put a decent card under it, I think it does 200, 300, 400,000 views better. I'll be honest.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, not a great deal to say on that. But very quick again, Potential Lunatic. He's like an unofficial assistant producer right now. Lance Pugmire, promoter Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing is expected Wednesday to announce a deal for Joshua Miller.
Today is Wednesday.
That's not.
No, today's Tuesday. Damn, I keep thinking today's Wednesday. I'm off this week. I thought yesterday was Tuesday too. I'll be honest. Anyways,
it feels like a Wednesday.
It does feel like a Wednesday. It does. But digressing. Okay. I guess. Hopefully, we heard that about Monday.
Yeah.
Let's see who's more accurate, Lance Pugmire or Mike Coppinger. The battle may commence. Where's Dan Rayfield? I want Dan Rayfield throughout a day.
Very quick. Chris Mannix, Clarissa Shields versus Christina Hammer, undisputed middleweight world championship set for Saturday, April the 13th, live on Showtime from the Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City.
Great news. Also, quickly, per Fight Hype, Chris Eubank Jr. revealed that he has a 3-fight deal with Al Heyman. Shout out to all the Chris Eubank haters. You guys are going to have to watch him on ITV for 3 whole fights. And on Fox/FS1/whatever for PBC on this side, 3 times. I'm actually excited. I like Chris Eubank, even though people hate him. Like, he's a good top 15 guy, and there's use for that. People hate on those top 15 guys.
Yeah, no.
Like he's going to be like a Lamont Peterson, respective to their divisions right now.
I mean, for the longest time, I've just felt he's not a super middleweight. He should be a middleweight, but I don't know. But, yeah, look, if he could just, look, he's got a new coach. And he even said, I think in an interview, like, and he was like, yeah, but will you listen to that coach? And he was like, I'll try my best. He's kind of always done things done his own thing. Sort of said how he's instinctive during a fight and this, that, and the other. So it's not like a coach is really offering him anything, but he said he'll try to listen to a coach. So I don't know.
Quick last sort of topics to get to. I actually forgot about this, and it's because the fights this weekend aren't that great. We're going to discuss the fights this weekend, Rob. What was that?
I didn't know there was any.
Yeah, there are. There's actually quite a few. There's an ESPN card on Friday. There's a Showtime, get this, / UFC Fight Pass card. I'm really curious how those two are having a combination there, because Dana and Steven Espinoza are big buddies. There's a Fox card this Saturday. There's a UFC Fight Pass card this Saturday. And I think that's it, yes. So, Rob, there's like 4 different fight cards we can watch in the U.S. So,
are they worth watching?
They have some names. The ESPN card this weekend on Friday by Top Rank has Rob Brandt versus Kasan Basingurov. I have no idea who Basingurov is, and I really don't care. Rob Brandt has really impressed me against Moreta. Shout out to Rob Brandt. Can't wait to see him. Joshua Greer on the undercard. Michaela Mayer on the undercard. Steve Nelson on the undercard. Who else? That's about it from like notable prospects and names. Again, that is Friday. Also on Friday, and you're going to love this, Rob. You ready for this? The Showtime card. Guess where it's at?
Shoot. Tell me.
Mulvane, Kansas.
The hotbed of boxing.
The hotbed of boxing. First it had Big Baby Miller on the zone. Now it has a Showbox Next Generations card or whatever. Showbox. Right? Yeah, just Showbox card. It has, I know this guy. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. But I am going to try to pronounce his name. It's going to be awful. Ready?
How? Go.
Shojan Ergashev, who's a junior welterweight, so 140-pounder, fighting Mikhail Fox. Nico Hernandez on the card. He's an Olympian.
Is that Mikhail J. Fox?
No. They don't. Come on, too soon. That's about it for that card. The Fox card on Saturday has a good fight on it. I will say that. It's not the main event though. Leo Santa Cruz versus Rafael Rivera. What was that?
Oh, it said, that's this weekend?
That's this weekend.
Oh, buzzing.
Pleasant, right? Co-main event, obviously, Omar Figueroa Jr. versus John Molina Jr. Now, that should be a really fun fight. Like, that should be a slugfest. That should be a brutal, bloody fight. No technique, but am I going to be psyched to, strap in for an entire Saturday evening to watch a PBC card and a UFC card and watch Omar Figueroa and John Molina Jr. as my highlight for boxing? Not really. That's not Erickson Lubin, Ishe Smith for me, even though that one turned out to be really one-sided. Carlos Lacona versus DJ Creel for the IBF strawweight title is on this card. I'll be honest, I will show my casualness here. Don't know who either guy is there.
Oh, hipster status revoked.
Revoked. I don't know. And I'll be honest, I did really little tape study, or I'll be honest, I did 0 tape study for any of these fights this weekend because I really could care less. I did some tape study for the UFC card because the UFC card this weekend is really good, but no, boxing, I'm going to pass. Also on Saturday, damn, so much fights we don't need. St. Petersburg, Florida, UFC Fight Pass. Connor Coyle versus Travis Scott. Not the Travis Scott that is the musician. Not that one. That just did it. I know. That would be cool. But no, that's the fights this weekend, Rob. Any thoughts on them? Any of them?
No, but also on Saturday is Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia press conference, which will be televised on free-to-air Fox. And then Coppinger went on to say an amazing commitment to boxing from the network.
Yeah, that's cool to see. Let's see if the press conference is interesting.
Will it be?
Doubtful.
Unless someone can, put something in Errol's drink.
We're saying, like, you could put as much marketing dollars behind that fight, I think, as you want. I don't know if it turns it into a mega event. Like, I just don't see that. You can put millions and millions of marketing behind that. And I think it might raise the pay-per-view buy rate by 50,000, 75,000, maybe 100,000. But even then, I feel like that's really stretching it. Like, that just doesn't exist. Like, fights either are meant for pay-per-view or they're not, like, innately. Very few fights you can just artificially make into a pay-per-view blockbuster. Matthew saying, what do you make of the Bellator card? I'll get to that tomorrow. Tomorrow will be our MMA show and preview show with Fugatti. So I'll break down the UFC card. I'll break down all that shit tomorrow for all those that want that information. But digressing, let's get to the callers, unless you have anything else, Robert Hearns.
No, I'll keep an eye on things and see if anything else pops up. As usual, but,
Shout out to your man AJ not breaking news for us for multiple days now.
Shout out to your man Wilder for doing the same.
First off, he's not my man like AJ is your man. You know that. I know that. Digressing. Gary in Dallas. Gary, what up?
What's going on, fellas?
Nothing much, man. Another day, another dollar.
I am super duper excited for Breazeale versus Whyte. This is going to be the fight of the century. Do you think this is a pay-per-view fight? Do you think they're going to charge us $100 for it, or is this going to be on regular Fox?
Gary, you acting like you're not going to enjoy watching it on Showtime. Stop.
And they'll definitely be charging us on Sky for it.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be pay-per-view in the UK.
I will watch the fight because I'm a boxing geek and I have no life and I have 3 young kids at home, so I don't go anywhere. So I'll watch the fight. Outside of that, I don't expect many people to watch the fight. How does Whyte's fights usually do in America?
We never heard the Chisora 2 numbers, I want to say, right? Like, that's odd, but we never heard those numbers. Odd. But the HBO card he did with Lucas Brown, that did like 480,000 viewers. That is HBO, so that's, above market of what Showtime would be.
Yeah.
I would expect a Breazeale Whyte fight on Showtime, non-prime time, obviously in the UK. I think it would do 250,000 viewers average. It would do around that mark.
That's pretty bad. Okay.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Like AJ has done like 280, right?
Yeah, I know AJ usually does around 300. Yeah, and that's not really good, which is why I kind of always said that Fury was a bigger star in the U.S. than AJ was, and host of Name Redacted show would laugh at me every time I said that, except all the numbers back up what I say.
Well, yeah, because he's on a network with tens of millions of more subscribers, or he was.
But when when Fury fought Klitschko, it did 1.2 million live viewers.
Yeah, on HBO. And it was Klitschko.
What was that?
And it was Klitschko.
Klitschko, right? When AJ fought Klitschko, it did half that. It did 600,000.
Yes, on a different network.
That number. I was saying that it was on HBO. It was on Showtime. It was on Showtime.
Yes.
Yeah. There's not twice as many. You know what I'm saying? There's not twice as many Showtime subscribers as HBO subscribers. I mean, there's not twice as many.
But Gary, there's over. Hold on, Gary. There's over 33% more. So there's over a third more subscribers in the U.S. alone. If we're talking worldwide numbers of subscribers, HBO has nearly 80 million subscribers worldwide. Digressing from that, though, if you look at respective to AJ fights without Klitschko and AJ fight with Klitschko, the AJ fight doubled AJ's average numbers on Showtime. Why? Because it was Klitschko.
Right.
Imagine what a Fury Chisora fight on HBO would have done. And imagine, obviously, we don't need to imagine. We know what a Fury Klitschko fight did on HBO. Like, I think you're ignoring the big factor of, or two big factors of, HBO has over 10 million more subscribers in the U.S. On top of that, it is a Klitschko fight. And we've seen what that did for AJ on Showtime, which doubled his numbers.
My point was, and I think you're kind of agreeing with me, that Fury is a bigger star in the U.S.
No, I'm not agreeing with you. I'm not agreeing with you.
Okay.
Because there's not enough empirical evidence for that. There's not. There's clearly not.
All right, that's not really even my point, though. Breazeale and Whyte should get title shots without having to fight each other. I mean, Breazeale's been in a mandatory position now for almost a year and a half. So even if he wins this fight, which he won't, but let's just play make-believe and say Breazeale wins this fight, he's going to wait 2 years and have to fight Dillian Whyte to get the shot he's already deserved. How is that reasonable to Breazeale?
It's not.
Okay. And Dillian Whyte, what does this guy have to do to get a title shot? Like, what does he have to do? Like, who?
Accept offers.
Ooh.
There's that. You're right, there's that. He could do that. That's true.
And now he has to beat Breazeale and wait for the WBC to mandate him against the winner of Wilder Fury.
Isn't he? Where is Wilder ranked? I mean, not Wilder. Where is Whyte ranked by the WBO? Isn't he the mandatory or the number one
WBO
organization as well?
Yeah. WBO.
WBO.
Okay.
Yeah, he's number one. But if Usyk decides to, he can take that instant mandatory spot due to their
rule about champions moving up weight classes.
Yeah.
So he might not get a shot. He may not get his number called for that either. Okay.
No.
All right. That sucks for both those guys. And certainly Whyte will win against Breazeale.
Because he's got that one-punch knockout power.
Well, does Whyte have one-punch knockout power, Matt?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. But then like the clock resets. So can Wilder make Whyte wait 2 years like he did? He's done with Breazeale, make him wait another year and a half. You know what I'm saying? Like, when is Wilder gonna have to fight one of his mandatories?
You know what it is? Whenever the WBC and Wilder decide, hey, we're done fighting Fury, if the AJ fight isn't there, okay, then maybe a mandatory now. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be timing.
Okay.
It's a matter of timing. And I'll be honest, if Wilder had, let's say, if Wilder had knocked out Tyson Fury, like a lot of people thought, including me, and it was an easier fight, and et cetera, and we don't have a rematch, we might not have this situation. But because of that, that was a monkey wrench in the division. That did hold up a lot of fights from happening. It just did. It was a rematch that we were not expecting. I don't think the division was expecting or planned for. And I think AJ had to sort of figure out another path. I think the Miller fight became the most obvious path for him because he needed to get towards Wilder. And the people that were left in the cold were Breazeale, Ortiz, and Whyte. And they have to figure out what to do now.
Which I guess is fight each other, which seems because what I'm saying is, like, whatever you think of Breazeale, I don't think he's very good. Mm-hmm. He's been given a mandatory shot. What's the purpose of giving him the mandatory position if you're never going to mandate him to fight? You know what I'm saying? It's and I kind of feel like they're doing the same thing to Charlo at 154, like Jamal Charlo. Like, are you ever going to let him fight Canelo, or you just, you know what I'm saying? It's like, well, what's the purpose of the mandatory position anymore? It seems completely pointless.
Especially when we get like a like Ocampos Spence fight that has to happen.
Right.
You know, like that. Oh, we need that mandatory right now. No, we don't. We really don't. Gary, like we had this conversation, I think, earlier on another show, maybe a week ago, maybe this weekend, about the sanctioning bodies and just how they act, how their corruption is. Come on, man. Like it's unfortunately it's the game, man. Like we don't have an international body. We have no accountability for these sanctioning bodies. We have no commissioner. This is not a league. So we get bullshit like this, man. It's what we live with. Shout out to being boxing fans, right?
It is what it is. You know,
it is what it is.
It comes with the territory. And I had a question about the Wilder Fury rematch.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't PBC have an exclusive contract with the Barclays Center?
Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
Is that only one?
We talked about that earlier.
Okay, is that only one way?
Yes.
Does that mean only? Okay, so PBC can put their fight.
No. From the language that Dan Raphael used, it is one way for PBC. PBC is exclusive to the Barclays Center. Barclays Center is not exclusive to PBC. So like Miller AJ or other fights can be at the Barclays Center. But technically speaking, from the language that's being used by Dan Raphael, PBC, if they want to take an event to New York, it has to be in the Barclays Center.
So then how are they putting Wilder Fury in the Garden?
I don't think they will. I think this is bad reporting.
Okay. Because I think that would be great. Like I think that fight at the Garden, the heavyweight title fight, the heavyweight championship of the world would be great. Like, have you ever been to a fight at the Garden?
No, I've been to the fight at the Barclays Center and I hated it. It was awful, man.
Yeah. First of all, the Barclays Center is not convenient to get to.
Yep.
From anywhere outside of New York City, and there's no, like I said, the Brooklyn Nets play at the Barclays Center. No one cares about them. They're the worst attendance in the league. Like there's no, you're not really in New York City. You're in Brooklyn. There's no pizzazz to it. It's like you know what I'm saying. There's no, the Garden is Madison Square Garden. It's the mecca of boxing, and it's great. You sit there. There's 20,000 people there. 20,000 seats. There's not one bad seat in the Garden. The way it's designed, it goes out. It doesn't go up, right? If you can imagine that. So there's not one single bad seat in the Garden, and it's the place where like countless heavyweight title fights have gone down. It's like the mecca of the entertainment world. If they can put the fight there. It's the same reason why I like them putting the first fight in LA. Put it in LA. Put it in New York, so that those fights get media attention from day one, right? Because if it's in Vegas, you go to Vegas now. There's no local. I mean, it's just local sports media, right? Until fight week. If you put it in New York or LA, that's where the media is all the time. So it could put that attention on those fights right away and make them bigger and draw more attention to it. So I like putting it in the Garden. It seemed like you were against it. Do you just not think it's reasonable? Like that's just not going to happen?
I'm not against it from a principle matter. I think the Garden's a better venue overall, but I just don't think it's happening. Like it's not a matter of me wanting it or not wanting it. I just don't think it's happening. You know what I mean?
And also, a flight from the UK to New York is reasonable, right? What is it, about 5-6 hours, Rob?
Yeah, about 5 hours, I think.
So it's like 10 hours to Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
yeah.
Get a lot more people from the UK to go to New York than you would to get them all the way to Vegas. You know what I'm saying? So you could get more people from the UK in the Garden than you could in MGM Grand. So it makes sense in that, from that perspective too. If you want to sell it to both markets,
I agree. I think fighters. The only reason fighters and promoters like hesitate to go into New York for any reason is because of the taxes, which I think is a bullshit excuse. Because their overheads and what they're making is insane. Like the taxes isn't an issue. Stop fucking complaining. If the New York area is the best place to hold a fight, put it in New York. Because especially for fights like this that have a transatlantic relationship or dynamic, New York is the perfect setting for it.
I mean, it's like it's obviously closer, cheaper, and so I guess it'll be that fly over for the the fight and come back. Whereas Vegas has got that kind of fuck it, we'll catch the fight, but we'll do a holiday kind of thing. You know, like get more of a whether it's a big lads holiday, I mean, or you could roll it in with a family trip and while we're there, get tickets for the fight. Whereas I think New York, fly out on the morning of the fight and go, do it real quick, hop over and hop back kind of thing.
Well, if you look at like the entire, like if you look at a map, like if you from the West Coast to London, New York is kind of in the middle. Like it's in that way. That's how I look at it. So yeah, New York's perfect. Make it happen. And I like you, Gary, would love a Wilder Fury fight to be an MSG just because the history MSG is always attached with. But it just is not likely. If it does happen, I'm curious about that Barclays deal and how quote unquote exclusive it is.
So do you think it's going to be in Vegas, or do you think it's going to be at the Barclays?
Barclays.
Yeah, I kind of think so too.
Yeah.
All right. And then with the bantamweights, this Manny Rodriguez versus Inoue fight, it's set for May. Why so far out? I mean, that's because originally the first year they were putting the first year of the tournament, they were putting the fights pretty close together. They were putting them just a couple months apart. Did they say why they're putting it so far out?
No. I think they had this date penciled in for some reason. I don't know why, but I don't think it's as far out as maybe you think. Like, we are halfway through February already. Like, Valentine's Day is this Thursday. Like shits are like we're almost in March. Like, we're almost like 2 months. We're about what this is 9, 10 weeks away. May 18th, maybe more like 12 weeks away. I don't think that's too far out.
Yeah.
I think that's too far out for this level of fight, especially if they're trying to make that Josh Taylor Branchik fight still, and that's not official. Then I see why they're trying to get this card finalized around that fight, because their main event might not happen, so they might have to scramble with only 6 weeks left or 8 weeks left.
Right.
So, it is what it is.
So the Taylor Branchik fight. I mean, what's your gut feeling? Is that going to happen, or is that tournament going to fall apart?
Gut feeling, I don't know. I think
very quick, if you want me to bring something in, Steve Kim. Okay, still no word on the final status of Ivan Baranchyk in the World Boxing Super Series, but Richard Schaefer says it looks like April 27th for Tete Donaire and Prograis Relic. Various venues being looked at. None are suitable or available in Southern California on that date.
Okay. Again, I want to hear more from Prograis' team and Branchik's team. Like, these are people that aren't their teams. Like, Richard Schaefer is not Prograis' promoter. He's not any of these people's promoters. Like, I want to hear from Prograis' management team. The Peterberg Management Company. I want to hear from Sam. I want to hear from his manager. I want to hear from those people. With Branchik, his manager has still not changed his tune last time you've heard. I don't know. To sort of go back to your point, Gary, gut feeling, I think they sort of figure it out. I think we get a haphazard Frankenstein's monster of a tournament probably, and they somehow figure it out. And we might have delays. It might take till the end of the year or next year. But I think we sort of get the end of this. And I do believe, though, after this, fighters aren't going to be running to this tournament. Like, the second fighters start hearing, oh, they're not paying their people, I'm not going there. Most fighters think that. I don't think we get I don't think we get a season 3 anymore.
And I got the Prograis manager said that they hadn't paid him all of his money for the first fight, and they refused to put money into escrow for this next fight against Relic. So it's like, well, why would he take the fight then, right? Like, if you haven't paid me for fight A, and you refuse to show me the money for fight B, why do I trust you that the money's there? So I get it. I get why the fighters would be like, nah, I don't want to fight for free. I kind of like to get paid. So I get it. And again, I don't even, if the 140-pound tournament falls apart, I don't really care. I think there's better fights to be made without the tournament. Relic and Baranchyk are good fighters, but we all know that Prograis and Taylor are going to win, right?
Yeah.
So can't we just cut out the middleman and make Taylor versus Prograis? Because that's the fight that they put this whole tournament together to get, right? They put them on opposite ends of the bracket to get Taylor versus Prograis. So let's just make that fight.
Hey, I would like that. Or hell, like I said earlier in the show, screw that matchup. Hooker Taylor and Prograis Ramirez. Give me those two matchups.
Let's do that. That's even better. Yeah.
You know, but hey, I'm not Al Heyman. I'm not Cael Sutherland. I'm not a power broker in the game, so I can't make those calls, unfortunately.
Just strip them all and give them to Taylor. Cut out the middleman.
All right, that's all I got.
Thank you, Gary, as always. Rob, final thoughts time, man. It's a little bit of just a quick show today, only an hour show. I like that. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, quickly hold on. Because I don't think we actually specified this on any free show yet. I think I maybe specified it on the MMA show yesterday at the very end. But this MMA show, most of our boxing listeners don't listen to that. UK Hour tomorrow. Oh, hold on. There you go. Yes. On patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio exclusively for 3 days. And then it becomes free to the public. So if you want to get UK Hour live, you want to catch UK Hour when it's, quote unquote, relevant news, you got to go to patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. Honestly, Rob, I can't wait to do UK Hour again. I've been waiting to start that back up. I'm glad it's happening. Rob, you look like you're shocked. This isn't news.
I look like I thought my eyeballs went funny, but I think you nudged your camera. You just shook all over the place.
Oh, like this? No, hold on. Oh, it's not working.
I thought, damn, LA, is it one of those earthquakes?
No. Have I told you that this table's like really unsteady? Yeah, I'm constantly worried this table is just gonna fall. If the leg's just gonna kick out.
Yeah. I mean, part of me hopes it happens, but obviously for the show, keep it together and not. But UK Hour. You better brush back up on some of your hip UK stuff, mate. You better.
Hey man, you're the A mic on that show, man. I'm just the B mic. Digressing. Yes, that should be tomorrow. Also tomorrow, we're MMA preview show and news show of the weekend. So we're going to break down the Cain Velasquez, Francis Ngannou ESPN card, the first actual full ESPN card for the UFC, like full main event, actually on ESPN. First time happening. So curious to see how that ends up and how that sort of the rollout, the production, and again the viewership, because their prelims are doing 2-point-something million for UFC pay-per-views. God knows what prime time viewership for a main event with guys like Cain Velasquez, Francis Ngannou attached to it. I'm very curious about that one. But Rob, stop, relax, man. Don't tear down our show.
I just, for me, no views.
Fuck off. Anyways, let's get that out.
I mean, one MMA thing I'm slightly got an interest in is it Michael Venom Page sometime this weekend?
That is this weekend, I believe. Paul Daly versus Michael Venom Page. I cannot wait to discuss that one. Too bad you can't discuss it with me, Rob. You're not allowed to.
I can talk about his boxing career if you want.
Well, actually, UK Hour, there's no boxing in that name. And Paul Daly, Michael Venom Page, 2 UK MMA fighters. We might briefly touch on that in UK Hour tomorrow.
Yeah, because I have picking that one up, so...
That's right. That's right.
UK bridge of Bellator. Perhaps I will get into it. Who knows?
Who knows? But anyways, I'm Matt the Hipster Hunter. I'm at Matt Hunter MCR all platforms. Smash like button, share the show, subscribe, listen on podcast form, drop that 5-star review. Head over to patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. Rob, where can people find you? Final thoughts, all that fun stuff. What's up?
Yeah. As a Potential Lunatic has been, shout out to Potential Lunatic, sending me little bits and bobs during the show and what have you. He found me at UK Rob MCR on Twitter and Instagram. If people want to send me things, for UK Hour that we can talk about or anything like that, I try and keep on top of it, get all that breaking news and whatever. But if you guys see things, like I say, I've been waiting all day for this DAZN announcement, but it looks like, I don't know, Lance Pugmire's put that to bed and said it's tomorrow, if that's what the news was. But maybe, like I say, Klitschko's flight was a little bit delayed. But yeah, hit that thumbs up, share the show, tell people we're here. I believe we were in a little bit of a ratings war just now. So, you know, whatever.
With who? Oh, we don't know. I don't know. Name redacted. Who cares? We don't give them clout.
Sporting Icons was live as well, Matt, you know.
Oh, well, I mean, that's actually, you know, real competition there. Digressing, though. Have a great night, great day, wherever you are. Stay safe. Peace.
Oh, okay. All right, then. Bye.
Well, I mean, what, you want to go back to you, Rob? You good?
No, you've ruined it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Catch you later.
I'm gonna make you a star, motherfucker. Are you off your tits? Have you been smoking something? That turns down, that really makes me horny.